Hello and welcome back to the Film Custodian Show. I am the Film Custodian. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about all kinds of different things, spoil stuff, because I'm just discussing, I'm reviewing, I'm whatever. This is my impression, this is my reaction, this is my discussion, like whatever the buzzword is now. I just like to say review. This is my review. Alright, so here we go. So basically it begins on the Stepstones. You see Daemon Targaryen kind of come over in his dragon. I really like his dragon. It's almost like he's just swimming, right? Like he's just swimming through the water, kind of like an eel, and how they kind of applied that to the air. He's just kind of gliding and floating through the air. It's very different. It's not. It's very graceful for a dragon. It's not just flapping his wings and really going at it. It's I just kind of like that. It's very unique, and it's really unique specifically to that dragon, to that character of Daemon. And maybe that's a reflection of his character, if you really want to think about it, that he's just more going with the flow, man, going with the flow. You're not really sure what he wants. You kind of know what he wants, but you're not really sure. And, just classic Game of Thrones stuff. Dealing with the rest of the folks, you have Rhaenyra, and she just basically becomes a Disney princess in this episode, which is fine. But it's all, it's just the whole, I didn't want to get married, and, the king is just, you need to get married! What is wrong with you? Do it already! Rah! And they kind of go back and forth, and then I'm just going to skip. There's a really great scene. They're in the woods, actually. She kind of runs off from the birthday. It is the birthday, right? We skipped, we skipped 2 years from the second episode to this episode, and so it's been 2 years. We're celebrating 2 years. It's the name day of Aegon, her younger baby brother, and it's the celebration of that. And she just gets all pissed off, runs off into the woods. The Kingsguard goes after her, and that night they're in the woods. It's completely dark. It's completely black. Can't see anything except their little fire that's going that kind of lights up everything. It's just a really fantastic looking scene, and it really does bring up the fantasy elements. I really am getting the idea that the House of the Dragon is sort of the fairy tale and the legend of, well, it's the legends, right? It's all the history that came before Game of Thrones, right? And so, but there's also that kind of mythic fairy tale look to it. You just kind of, you have the princess and you have the knight, more or less, and they're out there, having a discussion or whatnot in these in the Forbidden Forest or the Dark Woods, whatnot. And it's kind of magical. It's kind of very much like a fairy tale, and I got the sense more of the fantasy genre with this one scene than all 3 episodes so far of The Rings of Power. I mean, it's kind of pathetic. There's just no magic in The Rings of Power. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about House of the Dragon and how awesome it is. The performances are still there. The story is still there. This actually is a slow burn where they're taking their time. They're setting everything up. But everything has a purpose and a place. I don't think they're dragging their feet. Nothing really feels like it's filler. And then the end of the episode, you go back to the Stepstones, which you started at the beginning, which is this battle with this crab feeder guy, who turns out to not really be anybody. He's just an antagonist, and his sole purpose, at least so far anyway, unless they reveal some kind of secret later on, sole purpose really is just to be a problem, right? It's just a barrier in the way of Daemon, and it gives him something to do to kind of prove himself that he can be a king and whatnot, and kind of redeem himself in the eyes of his brother and the whole kingdom, instead of getting the bad rap that he's gotten. So at the end, he does this really cool, badass sort of one-man army type of thing. It's a really great battle sequence. You got some dragon fire in there and whatnot. Initially, I wasn't happy with how the showdown ended between him and the crab feeder, because he just kind of goes into the cave where the crab feeder is, and then he comes out just dragging his, cut in half corpse behind him. But then I thought about it, and I kind of actually agree with this decision, because why waste time? There is no personal ties or anything. This isn't personal for Daemon, and maybe it's personal for the crab feeder, You know, who knows? Maybe we'll find out later on. I don't know. But it's not personal for Daemon. So there wouldn't be any kind of emotional attachment, no drama to really have them sort of square off one against one and, you know, one-on-one and do the, you know, the sword thing and do like a duel. There just wouldn't be any purpose to that. So for him to just drag out the mangled corpse of the crab feeder at the end makes sense. It saves time. It gets the point across. He's dead now. Daemon succeeded. It's about Daemon's growth anyway. It's not, the crab feeder's inconsequential. And so it's fine. That's great. Moving on to episode 4. I think episode 4 was, I don't think there was a time jump. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's right after the battle at the Stepstones. Daemon returns, and he's just like, you know, here, add this weapon to the chair, and kind of redeems himself momentarily. But then he gets into some trouble with his niece, and, you know, kind of, you know, he's fun and dangerous, and they go out to a brothel, and they start to do things, and everyone is pissed about this, obviously. Rhaenyra gets with the King's Guard, and yeah, they kind of do some stuff. And then what else is going on? Yeah, so the rivalries are really heating up now. Viserys has just completely cut out Daemon entirely now. He's just, you know, he's got him on the ground pinned, you know, just basically just get out of here. You know, I mean, just a lot of really good Game of Thrones intrigue stuff going on, and they're really setting up, you know, Daemon to just be this guy where you're not really sure where his allegiances lie. It's like he loves his family, he's trying to regain the love of his brother, but he just can't seem to do it. He just has to go out and get drunk and have fun, and takes his family member with him, and, you know, in typical Targaryen messed up fashion, I guess. You know, we're turning the fire up, things are starting to boil. Yeah, things are still very interesting and very good in Westeros, and I'm happy to tune in every week. I look forward to it. It's great, and it's definitely, again, it's justifying its existence. It is a different show. It has its own flavor, its own nuance. They also hit again with the dagger that, you know, they even read out the prophecy that there'll be a prince that is promised. And a lot of people, I guess, aren't really sure why that is. I think it's a good thing that they brought in the dagger because it adds weight. And I don't know, maybe some kind of justification that the original, you know, Targaryens, when they came over, you know, when Aegon came over and he conquered the Seven Kingdoms, it was because I'm for the greater good. And maybe it was, I don't know. But also it just adds weight to being the king or being the queen, you know, sitting on the throne. It really just adds weight to being in control. That the White Walkers might show up one day and you better have your ducks in a row, man, you know? So, yeah, great show. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this. Please share the video. It doesn't cost you anything. And thanks. I'll see you later.
I mean, like, why are we even out here? We're not even making minimum wage. What are you talking about? This is great. We're in space.